Hey Gemini, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing a reading for the month of December. We're going to take a look at the past, present, and future. Just remember this is a general reading, so if it doesn't resonate, totally okay. Just leave for those that need to hear it right now and come back for the next month's reading. But we are going to try to get the vibe right now of what you're going through the month. And as we go through the reading, we're going to see like where we want to align because we want to be, positive energy, positive vibration, see if we're on the same wavelength of what you want to manifest. So we'll kind of discuss that. I do recommend watching the manifesting video that I posted a few weeks back. That kind of gives a better explanation and kind of like about laws of attraction too. So let's go ahead. We'll get the vibe right now of December, what you're going through currently, and it sets the tone for the whole reading. So let's go ahead, see what that is. Someone else got this. This is interesting. So the masquerader, hiding your true self projection. It almost feels like Taurus is kind of going through the same vibes. I'm pretty sure Taurus was the one. Don't quote me on that because I usually am wrong, but I'm pretty sure Taurus got the same exact card. So if you have or know of a Taurus in your life, maybe you guys can connect on this. Or maybe you have Taurus in your chart, so maybe you would want to go and watch that video as well. But the masquerader, hiding your true self projection, there's a lot of, I don't know if this is the energy, because we are shifting gears here into the new year, right? Where that's around the corner. But we also have a lot of planets in retrograde right now. Mercury is in retrograde. And there's a lot of shifts, a lot of lessons that need to be kind of like closed off. And this feels like one of them. And it feels like for Taurus, I'm pretty sure it's Taurus, there is a sense of kind of projection. And it's almost the same energy that I'm feeling for you, that you're putting your experience and who you are. And hold on, let me reword this because this isn't exactly what I want to say. So what I want to say is, okay, so like say you're going through an experience, it's like you kind of become your experience. For example, like, I don't know, I did this example in that video as well because I couldn't think of another example off the top of my head. I don't know why this keeps coming up. Say like you were a victim of some kind of abusive situation, and then you identify as that, like you are a victim of abuse. That becomes your personality, that becomes who you are, but that's not who you are. That's not your true self. You aren't a victim. Like if you have an illness, say like you have some kind of disease, and like it becomes your whole world because you have to change your lifestyle, how you eat, how you go about your day, and that isn't your identity. That is just something that you go through and have gone through, and it shapes you for sure, but it's not who you are. And so you're hiding behind that and then projecting that to people. So it's like if, for example, if they just don't see eye to eye on what you're going through, and make you feel a certain way, like they're giving you advice, it's like, you don't know what I'm going through, and it's like you turn into something that you're not. That's what this kind of like feels like. That's the energy that's coming in. So place that where it makes sense in your life, energetically. So it doesn't have to be like, an illness. It doesn't have to be a situation where there is abuse or something, or you're a victim of something. This is just the energy that's putting off that you are becoming your situation, which is not you. It's just something you've gone through, but you're taking it as a personality, and it's like projecting it onto other people. So it's like almost a negative thing. Like you see bad in people sometimes, or you're forcing something on them that isn't even them either. So there's that situation going on right now. Or in the month of December, maybe you haven't experienced that yet, but I'm pretty sure this is all like now. Like this is like bleeding into the month. So let's pull some cards now for past, present, and future. That one wanted to come out for some reason, and this one, we'll leave that. Let's begin with the past. So we have the Knight of Swords. That one popped out. The Nine of Swords. Lots of swords here. And then the Queen of Wands in reverse. So in the past, I think there's a lot of things. Well, it feels very heavy and very negative. it just feels very internal when I say this. It's not external. Like maybe, life is the way it is. You're always going to have ups and downs. Like there's always going to be something, right? At the end of the day, this feels very internal. Like you're negative about something. There's something that keeps you up at night. You have anxiety, you have stress. Um, there seems to be some kind of like outside factor that is affecting this. Whether it's supposed to or not, it just is. Like you're taking it upon yourself. I feel like this isn't even your issue, but you're taking it upon yourself energetically. I feel like there is, because the Knight of Swords is coming out. Typically I like to place this in this situation, but for some reason, um there seems to be like two parties involved in this, because I don't even know how to explain this, but I'm gonna just, okay, let's just do this. So to see like the in between, this is like you emotionally. See this card here, this is the Nine of Swords, and like this is you emotionally on the inside, right? And then these are like two separate parties. So this could be flipped, whether it's you or the other party, and it could be like multiple people versus you, or vice versa, whichever card kind of fits your description at this point. But I'm trying to paint this like in a way that makes sense, because this is how it landed. These are how it came out. The Knight of Swords came out first, then the Nine of Swords, and then the Queen of Wands in reverse. I feel like you are taking on a problem that's not yours. Whether it be in a relationship, friendships, family, maybe even a work scenario. It feels like in the past you're trying to fix things, because the Knight of Swords is like the knight in shining armor. You're coming in like very knowledgeable in a situation, and you're like, I'm trying to fix things, and I know how to do this because this is just part of my job. This is part of my duty, blah, 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 whatever. So it feels maybe even like a work thing, like a career thing almost too. And then like their other party or parties just feel like their stability is within themselves. And the way that I'm placing the Queen of Wands in reverse, it's almost like you're anti-manifesting something for the group. Because you're putting in something that isn't like yours to handle, their opposition in that, and they can handle it. They can find the stability in themselves, but it just feels like for me within this reading that it's like they can do it themselves. They don't really need your input, and it feels very like anti-manifesting. I don't know, I can't think of another word for that, but it's like you're not letting that manifest the way it needs to. And the Queen of Wands is a very like grounded, stable person, and it's a witch of the deck. It's somebody that can really use the elements to their abilities and manifest things. And then elements, I mean like emotionally, with fire and like determination and passion and like using their brain and knowledge and everything. They have all the elements around them. So like I'm using like the deck elements, right? But seeing in reverse, like, they're going through their own thing, and it feels like that needs to um kind of like transpire on their own, and you don't have to be the one that kind of saves them. I don't know. There's like a past situation here where I feel like this kept you up at night, not your monkeys, not your circus. I like to say that a lot recently at home. Not your monkeys, not your circus. And I get a vibe of like work. I don't know why it feels like work. And again, it doesn't have to be. It feels like could be family. There's a lot of friends, friendships, relationship. And again, it could be multiple people on this other side. But it feels like this keeps you up at night. And let's look at the present now to see where that's kind of unfolding, because that was the past. Right now in the present, and that makes sense with the projection thing, because again, like you are putting like your situation, what you've gone through, and trying to force this other group of people, person, to kind of like listen to you and force something on them that doesn't work. So that's still like lingering in the past. So let's look at the present. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Hierophant. Is that the Hierophant? Yes, the Hierophant in reverse. Yeah, so that makes sense. And Page of Wands. There's a lot of pushback that I'm getting. But I do get a sense that at this point you've kind of taken a step back and you found some solid ground within yourself. And I do get a sense that there is some kind of awareness that's come across. I do see an opportunity for you to kind of like go veer into a different direction and focus on yourself. So that's coming up in December. I feel like there's something that's going to spark your like passion for something. Um Maybe news comes in. There's something so the Page of Wands is a messenger. So something is going to come in where you're going to have an opportunity to kind of shift your thinking. I already feel like right now you have, and you've taken a step back and focused on yourself because I see stability within yourself. Knight of Pentacles. So I felt like you went from the Knight of Swords to the Knight of Pentacles, which is now like you slowed down, you stopped pushing. And the thing is though that there is like because there was pushback against whatever it is. So when you're projecting, for example, like if that's currently your situation, you're projecting things onto people, they aren't what you are putting them or painting them to be, right? So like for example, if you are, you have an illness, for example, like oh, like now I don't know, I'm thinking of my friend's like she has a gluten allergy, and I forget what that's, celiacs or something. And like then now she has to change her diet and all this stuff. And it's like you project like, oh, like we can't go there because of this. And now we're all gonna have to do things my way. And she does not do this, by the way. I actually cater to her because I feel awful because that stinks to not have pizza. Or like good pizza at least. So I cater to her, but because I care, and this is not it, but that's just like a thing, like you're projecting like your situation on them, and that has to be their life, and it kind of like gives like a pushback because it's like, yo, okay, like I get it, we'll accommodate, but like I'm not gluten intolerant, like I can have gluten, like so it's like something like that, right? And so like people start like pushing back and giving you kind of feedback on that. And so like for you kind of like, all right, well, picking my battles, right? Not my monkeys, not my circus. Or like you realize like, oh, like you have to eat healthier or something, like, and something about like pushing your agenda on everything else because you're projecting, because you're like, this is my life now. Sorry, I have like a knot that's pulling in my hair. You're projecting something that like, oh, because this is my life, I see it now, and everyone has to see it clearly too. That's what it feels like. But you have an opportunity right now. Currently, you're kind of stable within this. You still have an opinion, and that's fine, but now you get to do it on your own and like do it in a different way. And so like, I don't know, maybe you like join a group of some sort, or you find people with like-mindedness, and you kind of cling to that and realize there's like some kind of realization here um about like, there's other ways to kind of like go about expressing what you're going through, what you're feeling. And it's because you find another avenue, like it comes your way. Page of Wands. So this is beautiful. I love this for you guys. There's something with that, a new opportunity coming in December, more of like a message than an opportunity, but it does feel like there is some kind of chance to like change wavelengths and go in another direction that is really positive. And I say that because in the future, I have the Queen of Pentacles, which is very solid, the Emperor, which is super, super solid, and the Eight of Swords in reverse. So you're out of your own way in the future. I think there's a lot of stability coming your way in the future. If this is a work thing, I feel like you taking a step back and letting it unfold, let the people figure it out, let them learn their lessons, like that you know more, like I feel like you have experience in this situation or something along those lines. So like let them experience it and learn the hard way, and let them make the mistakes. And I feel like it doesn't even matter because the end result, because you step away, even if they mess up the project, whatever, there is abundance within this. There's a lot of solidity. Queen of Pentacles is someone very stable, like there's a lot of nurturing, calm energy within this, very grounded energy. So there's a lot of like, everything kind of falling into place where you feel like you can't, like in the past, you've been trying to save people. In the future, everything just falls into place. You don't have to save everyone. And that's like the kind of realization that you probably are having in the present. You don't have to save everybody because they're all on their own journey and they're all learning their own lessons. And it's going to, whether it makes sense right now or not, it's going to pan out the way it needs to. Everything happens for a reason. And if it doesn't pan out for them, like let's say people get fired because they messed up, so what? You couldn't save them. It wasn't your journey and it wasn't your thing to save. They had to save themselves. And if they didn't, that's not your problem. That is so far from your issue. And it's going to come down to like the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles together feels very solid, very strong. You come out on top. It doesn't matter if people lose at the end because that's not you. That is not your life. That is not your prerogative. You come up on top at the end of this. And so having that perspective really will like loosen up the energy. I mean, we're coming into the holiday season and coming into the new year, and we kind of want to just start off on the right foot, right? So just, I see presently you're kind of making those statements. Eight of Swords in reverse, like you are completely out of your way. And that's the beautiful thing because there's less control and just like allowing things to come in. And I'm expecting your new year to like start off with a bang with things just manifesting. Like I want to do your next month's reading because I feel like next month things are going to shift, things are going to change. Obviously, retrograde will start to end. And so we're going to be stepping foot into a completely new era. So if this message did, oh, wait, what am I talking about? We're not done yet. Wow. I'm going to say one more thing before we like close off because I was about to close off, but I forgot. We have to pull one more card from your guides. Kind of giving like a last sentiment, last statement, some advice for you for the month of December. Again, we are literally around the corner for the new year. So we really do want to start off on the right foot. Mirror, who or what is triggering you? And that is very, very, similar, not similar, on par, no, like on the same wavelengths. I don't know the words, my brain, to hiding your true self projection. What is triggering you? Because there's something about projecting and you putting something on other people that there's something within that is triggering you to make you like do that. There's something there and there's a lesson within that. And I think that's a beautiful time to reflect, especially now because you are doing that reflection, because you are getting pushback. Why is that triggering you? Who is triggering you? Is that triggering you? Is that something within yourself? Because again, projection. They're not really doing anything wrong. They're living their life. And I think there's something with like like you're tied too close together and it's time to like rip that apart because it's not your energy. You don't carry that. It's not your energy. And that, again, is what will pivot you because you let go, you're out of your own way in the future to really be successful and solid and grounded and being the Emperor energy, you know? So now we can close off. If this message did resonate, definitely like and subscribe so you don't miss another one of these. And thank you guys for coming back. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.